MLB is down to their final 4 teams who are currently battling it out in the championship series. I'm joined by Evan Piercy and David Flynt to break down the championship matchups and look at who's performing the best for each team. So David, we'll start with you. The Houston Astros currently tied with the Red Sox 1-1. Who's been their best performer so far?
I don't think there's any question that Justin Verlander's a great pick. I saw an article on MLB.com today that said the trade for him last year may have been the best trade ever. Yes, at times he's been a little inconsistent.
Best trade ever? Really?
You disagree?
I don't. The thing with Justin Verlander is he's a pitcher. He pitches once every 5 days, maybe an extra day in there out of the bullpen. So, yes, he's a good talent and he's a good pitcher for the Astros, but he's not an everyday player that's in the lineup battling it out. That's where my pick, Alex Bregman. I'm going to come out, this is a little bit of a hot take, but he is the next Derek Jeter.
Wow.
That's high praise.
Player number 2.
That's hot take.
He comes up clutch when the Astros need it, and especially in the postseason.
Okay. See the next Mr. October?
I want to say Mr. October,
Okay.
but I'm just going to say he's the next Derek Jeter. He already has 1 ring under his belt, talented defensive player, heads-up base running, great with a bat, but not necessarily hitting for power, but more hitting for average. You see him, he has a on-base percentage over 800 in the playoffs, batting average over 300 in the playoffs, and he's the spark plug that drives the engine of the Houston Astros. He's getting on base, he's allowing them to, expand their offense, hit and run. He can steal bases, he can do it all, and he is the reason why the Houston Astros are so deadly.
Right. Astros looking to go to their 2nd straight World Series, but they have to beat the best team in the AL this year, the Boston Red Sox. Who has been Boston's best player?
Boston's best player is the person sitting on the bench. That's the manager, Alex Cora. He's made the moves. You saw in the Yankees-Red Sox series, completely changes his lineup Game 3, puts in Brock Holt, puts in Steven Vasquez. Steven Vasquez gets an RBI single, I believe, in the 1st or 2nd. Brock Holt hits for the cycle. He's making the best choices and therefore putting the team in the best place to win. Without him, I don't think the Red Sox would be here.
I agree 100% there. I mean, Alex Cora, keep in mind, he's only 42 years old.
Yeah.
He's in his 1st season managing the Red Sox. He played in the MLB as recently as 2011. He's played against a lot of the players still in the league. He's a player's manager. He knows how players like to operate in today's modern game. You saw the fire in his belly when he got ejected for arguing calls. And, well, that's not necessarily a great thing. It shows he's willing to stick up for his players. Players love to play for managers like that, especially when they're this recently removed from playing the game themselves. So Alex Cora is the man in Boston right now.
I mean, he was the X factor in the series against the Yankees. He he completely outmanaged Aaron Boone in
Is he
every
manager of the year?
possible
You
way.
guys think Alex Cora manager of the year?
I wouldn't say
Certainly
manager
top
of the year,
3 picks, yeah.
but definitely top.
All right, MLB is moving towards younger managers. Aaron Boone, Alex Cora, just a couple of guys. Let's talk about the Brewers now. The first team in the NLCS, they have a 2-1 lead on the Dodgers. Who has been their key player?
Christian Yelich, MVP, I think, and the whole team's been great, but the veteran leadership that he's shown, hitting for average, because the Brewers are still a very young team. Craig Counsell hasn't been a manager for too terribly long, and he endured some tough seasons when he first got to Milwaukee. So the presence that Yelich has brought to them really, I think, is irreplaceable even with Ryan Braun, because Braun's in the second half of his career had the PED issue that came back to bite him when they figured out he lied. So Christian Yelich, just his presence has been great for the Brewers.
I have to agree. Can't go wrong with the MVP, but I have to say just the entire team as a whole. I mean, look at this, 13-1 in their last 14 games, which is incredible. Their pitching has been good. Starting pitching was kind of a weak point for the Brewers coming into the season. They're able to get enough done to turn it over to that devastating bullpen with Jeffries back there that the Brewers have. Christian Yelich, Lorenzo Cain, Aguilar, this team is definitely going to be scary. And it's not just one player, so you can't single out one person. It's the entire team that's getting it done for him.
Yelich certainly has to be the NL MVP. The whole team, that's cheating. We'll let it slide. Let's go with the LA Dodgers. They're down 2-1 to the Brewers we just talked about. Who has been the Dodgers' most important player?
The Dodgers' most important player is the one they picked up this year at the trade deadline. It's Manny Machado. He's doing what the Dodgers got him to do. He is, a catalyst in that lineup. He's hitting home runs. He's hitting .286, but he has a slugging percentage of 1.7. So, he's driving in those runs. He's getting the extra base hits. The one thing that I'm going to say negative about him is he has 8 strikeouts so far this postseason. That number for me is way too high. But the Dodgers got him to drive in runs. So you want him swinging the bat. You don't want him taking pitches. That's the job for Jock Peterson at the top of the lineup.
And you got to remember that Manny Machado doesn't have a whole lot of playoff experience anyway. Yeah, he went to a few with the Orioles, but not a ton. But my player is Max Muncy. The Dodgers basically stole him or got him for extremely cheap. He started this year in AAA in Oklahoma City, coming from the Athletics organization where he had a cup of coffee in the big leagues, then got sent back down. He came up in the first month of the season, and ever since then he's been lighting it on fire for the most part. But the stat that stood out to me about him, so far in this postseason, he's drawn 8 walks.
Yeah, he's
and he's
been
turned
impressive
most of
with his
those
bat,
into
yeah.
runs. So
Max Muncy,
getting on base is
Manny
just
Machado, key players for the Dodgers. Machado needs to hustle a bit more. We got to hustle out of here, though.
Yeah.
That's all the time we have for this MLB postseason block. When we come back, Andrew will be discussing the biggest winners and losers in fantasy football.